Commission, calling this Wednesday, September 9th meeting to order at 2:09 p.m. in the afternoon. The first thing we'll do is roll call really quickly. So with that, let's do Commissioner Scott.
Okay, I'm here.
Okay. Commissioner Cole.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we have Commissioner McBean and Commissioner Lockhart are absent without prior notice. And Sam Vandewater present for Planning and Building Representative. Moving forward, we're just going to go through the cases in chronological order. So we shall begin with case 3A. This is a minor subdivision 2020-0003. Owner is John and Natalie Smythe. I'm not sure how I'm pronouncing that. The request is a minor subdivision of a 216 acre parcel into two parcels of 90 acres and 126 acres. The location is 3.4 miles north of Laytonville Town Center, lying on the west side of US Highway 101, roughly 1.5 miles north of its intersection with 10 Mile Creek Road. The address is 48600 and 48650 North Highway 101, Laytonville. The staff planner for this project is Siobhan, who I do not see in attendance. But I will open up the discussion to commissioners.
Well, I don't think there's much discussion. I think we need to survey it.
Any comments?
Yeah. I haven't had a chance to, I didn't get a chance to go over this as we're starting to get ready to evacuate.
Oh,
But,
Bill, I'm sorry, Bill. 10 Mile Creek runs right through the property.
Yeah, definitely survey.
There's a 25, there was an old survey, but that was only 25%, and we don't know who, what, where, or when. Well, we do know when, 1980.
Oh, yeah, right. And let's see, are there 3 of you there that can vote on this? Because I bid on this project. And Alex.
Oh, no.
I think if you bid on it but didn't actually do the project, there shouldn't be an issue. It's only when you've done the survey itself for the project. So you are still able to vote on this item.
Yeah. If I can, so do you have enough if I don't vote?
Yes, for this particular project we do.
Yeah, go ahead and vote. I'll just stay out of it. That way I'm completely clear of any bias, like, you know, oh no, I don't accept this or blah, blah, blah. You know, I don't know, just if you, there's 3 of you, go ahead, approve a survey.
Oh, can I get a motion, please?
I recommend we need a survey for MS_2020-0003.
And I will second that motion. So we have a motion to accept require a survey for MS 2020-0003. We will vote by roll call. Commissioner Scott?
Yes.
Commissioner Vandewater, I say yes. And Commissioner Cole is abstaining. So the motion carries 2-0 to 1. Survey is required. Okay. Moving on along the agenda, we have case 3B. This is administrative permit AP 2020-0021. The owner is Beatrice Marie Diggs. Applicant is Keith Perry. And agent is John Phillips. The request is an administrative permit for the expansion to a large mixed light, which is a type 2 10,000 square feet permit for cannabis cultivation of no more than 10,000 square feet. Is located at 2.6 miles north of Covelo Town Center on the corner of State Route 162 and County Road 343 with an address of 25926 Mendocino Pass Road, Covelo, with the staff planner as Matt Goins. And I believe Matt Goins is available if we need him, but he's not on the Zoom call, which is fine. With that, I open the discussion up to the commissioners.
I'll follow your lead, Bill. Looks pretty flat
Okay.
and uneventful.
Yeah, I guess anything around the edge of the valley for sure should be surveyed. So I just go ahead and make a motion. That AP 2020-0021 that a survey be required.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
So I have a motion that a survey be required for case AP 2020-0001, seconded by Commissioner Scott. We will vote by roll call. Commissioner Scott,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
and I will give a third yes for the PBS representative. And with that, the motion carries 3-0, survey required. And now we shall move on to the next section of our agenda, which is the review of survey. So we will start with case 4A, which is a continued item from the August 12th meeting. And this is case U 2019-0019. The owner applicant is Divine Assistance International. The agent is Patrick Huffman. The request is a minor use permit for religious assembly involving construction of several structures to house the religious activities, as well as to establish a family residential dwelling group of 4 single-family residences and 2 accessory dwelling units, which would be a cottage, guest cottage, and a detached bedroom. This is located 11.7 miles north of Laytonville Town Center, roughly 4.5 miles northeast of Bell Springs Road. It's on the east side of Bell Springs Road, about a half mile from its intersection with Cow Mountain Road. The address is 60991 Bell Springs Road, Laytonville, and the staff planner is Susan Summerford, who does not appear to be in attendance. And with that, I open the discussion to commissioners.
It looks like you didn't find anything, right, Bill?
Right.
Okay. I make a motion that we accept the survey.
Do I have a second?
Don't you have to second?
Bill, do you want to second?
It's my.
Oh, this is the
my
one that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we do need another commissioner for this, because since Bill he has to technically recuse himself for this item. So let's return to this one, and hopefully Benjamin will join us. Otherwise, we'll have to continue this item.
I thought you had 3 on that last one.
No, we just took you as an abstain because you didn't technically need to recuse yourself on that one. So I apologize. Let's return to this item. So then moving on, let's move.
Have you heard from Benjamin?
I have not, no. But let's move on to the next item and just keep things rolling, and we'll reach back out at the end of the meeting to see if we can get Ben connected for that 4A case. So then with that, moving on, excuse me, we have case 3B, which is U 2019-0016. Owner is Edward Wallow. Applicant is AT&T Mobility, and the agent is Frank Schwaberum. I apologize if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. And Delta Groups Engineering. And the request is a use permit to construct a 65-foot cellular antenna tower with a monopine design. 12 panel antennas would be placed at the 50-foot elevation. All antennas, mounting hardware, and other equipment are proposed to be painted green to match the faux foliage. A new 704 square foot leased area surrounded by a combination concrete block wall and wood fence will be constructed at the base of the monopine tower. This enclosure will serve as an accessory equipment location. A 30 kilowatt diesel generator for backup electrical power also will be installed. This is located 1 mile northeast of the community of Yorkville, on the east side of State Highway 128, roughly half mile west of its intersection with Big Oaks Drive, and it has an address of 25701 State Highway 128, Yorkville. The staff planner is Keith Gronendijk, who I believe is in the conference room with our commission's supervisor, Jim Feenan. And with that, I open up the discussion to the commission.
Kind of looks like they did an okay job of trying to figure out if something was there.
Yeah, they did
you
a
get
few
that
shovel, but 3 shovel tests. Yeah.
They said they did 5-meter intervals. So. Can we go ahead and approve it? Or?
Before we make a motion, I just want to see, is there any comments from the agents?
Steve Geist here. If anyone has any questions, I can get Carolyn on to answer any questions.
Oh. Well, they did the 3 shovel test pits, and then they looks like they scraped mineral soil every 5 meters. So
yeah,
I think we're good.
Okay, cool. So we make a motion that U 2019-0016 that we approve the survey with the with the clause.
Do I have a-
Findings clause.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. So I have a motion by Commissioner Cole to approve the survey for case U 2019-006 with a second by Commissioner Scott. With that, we'll move forward with a roll call vote. Commissioner Scott,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole.
Yep.
And I will give a third yes for as the planning and building representative. So the survey is accepted by a 3-0 vote.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on to case AP underscore 2019-0085. The owner applicant is Joseph Emmel and Julian Staffsline. The request is an administrative permit for a large outdoor cannabis cultivation site, which is it's a type 2B license, which is 10,000 square feet. Of no more than 10,000 square feet of canopy. The location is 5.6 miles southeast of Leggett Town Center, lying on the north side of Foster Creek Road, roughly 2 miles northwest of its intersection with Bell Springs, and has an address of 58590 Bell Springs Road, Laytonville. The staff planner is Mark Kleiser. And with that, I open up the discussion to the commission. It does not appear we have any attendees on this item.
Well, they're gonna put 32 water tanks and they don't say, they're talking about it is proposed just west of the site. Well, how far west?
They, what did I just read? Though?
Page 7 has a map that identifies the 2 sites and as well as where the proposed cultivation area.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Yeah.
So it looks maybe 50 feet to the southwest of the site.
They want the tanks on page 2 to be set on the existing road surface.
All right. I saw that.
Quit.
I'm just wondering if the site extends into the road at all.
Well, the one is disturbed by the road.
And it looks like it's at the intersection of 4 roads.
So does it show anywhere where he's putting the water tanks?
So these are tanks that are new or the ones that already exist? Because they show water tanks on here. 2,500 gallon water tank. There's 2 of them.
Well, they're talking about 32 more.
Wow. That's wild. I missed that.
So,
Oh, here it is.
Vandy, it would be nice to see a map with where they're putting these 32 water tanks in relation to the site. I don't know why they didn't do that to start with.
So it looks like this. So if you go to map page, if you go to page 7 with that map, the 32 water tanks are gonna be going in. It's if you look at the red WRA number 1 to the west of that, there's a bunch of little darker circles, and those are the 32 water tanks. So they're immediately to the west of WRA number 1. And there's the little, if you look north of the parcel line, it says the 32 water tanks, and then it has a very faint arrow pointing to the little circles.
That's on numbers page 7, you saying?
Correct. Figure 3.
So they're calling that a walking path? Oh, I see the arrow.
So yeah, so like it looks like it's part of the road, but it's actually a bunch of little circles that are representing the water tank.
So, okay. Did you find it?
And we're still on page 7, right?
Yes, at the top. Where the
Yeah,
first
okay.
site is, see the first site location? It's
Yeah.
right to the left.
It looks
Right.
like a road, but those are actually the water tanks.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So
I
it
see
looks
that.
like it's just outside the border that he identified.
So I think that's too close.
So maybe we should ask for some shovel tests at each of the 32 tanks. What do you think?
Just an alternative suggestion, we could just condition that no water tanks be located a certain distance to that WRA site 1.
That too.
That would be easier. And we don't know the buffer around. I mean, it should be like 50 feet, right? I mean, usually when you
Which
make
is
site.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Usually in a site boundary line, I mean, you step back either 25 or 50 feet or
What's
from the actual
ordinance
site.
say?
I mean,
I think our ordinance says 100 feet.
100 feet. I was just saying in general. When you draw a
Yeah.
map for your site, you usually sort of
Right.
estimate the boundary when you're in the field. So, and so our ordinance does have a boundary.
I think that 100 feet boundary is just when we require a survey for a specific project, they have to survey within 100 feet of that thing. I don't think our ordinance has a specific setback
Yeah, it does.
required for establishing
does.
boundaries.
I know that there's
It
some
does.
other regulations that are in there about protecting different
It
things.
does.
I have let me look, I have the ordinance.
Okay. Talks about
Yeah.
orange fencing and different things to put around, especially if you're constructing something. So the other site's okay, don't you think? Bill, are you in the dark?
Yeah. I think the other side's okay.
Okay. Or basically, avoidance is the basic rule, but
Yeah, no, all the setback language in our ordinance is referring more to when something is found, that certain distances within like all operations and
Wait a minute,
activities.
it already is found.
I think we can determine the setback distance as a commission.
Okay.
If you want 100, we can request 100, but I will note that their cultivation site is about 50 feet away from the WRA.
actual, yeah.
Okay, it's 100 feet from the point of discovery. In the ordinance? Randy still there?
Yeah, I'm reading it, but I think what that's applying to is like this. He's identified something in the survey. I think that's more when someone is just digging on their property by themselves and they make a discovery and they call up our office, that we require them to make that, okay, everything within 100 feet of where you found something, no activities can occur there. I mean, I'm saying we can't apply the 100 feet. I just don't think the regulation that we're reading is specifically to this situation, if that makes sense.
So you're saying, Randy, that we can go ahead and make any distance, that we can approve any distance that we feel is appropriate, if it's even more than 100 or.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, I still think we should just recommend that they do like a STU or something at each of the 32 site placements.
How do you feel, Bill, about the cultivation area being so close? I know I'm changing sort of the subject here, but do you also want to just find a site bound, to have them go back and do some shovel testing just to see how far the site goes towards the cultivation area and towards the tanks?
Yeah, both.
Because they do have some other things set up. They have the portable toilet on that end, and then their sheds for fertilizer and storage, trash, first aid is all on that. And I know that's on a part of near the road, but
Did they just looking for the, okay. This is the 01 site. I'm looking for the site record for the 01. Okay. Great. Well, they're saying that the deposit may have extended to the south, where mechanical grading
Mhm.
landing cut to a depth of about 3 meters.
If you look at their map from the site record on page 4 of the 6, the site sort of extends north. I mean, that might be the southern end.
Hey, Colleen, can you get this? Hello? Hello? Oh, it's at school report. It's fine. There's a school report.
So it sounds like we can either approve this with setbacks or require that additional information be provided regarding that northern site.
Okay. Did they do any shovel probe? What happened?
It doesn't look like it. They only just looked in the cut bank.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they did shovel probes to determine the extent of the site. That's what I was trying to figure out.
They say that where visibility was low, a shovel was used to scrape foliage and leaf litter aside to better assess mineral soil. So no probing, but they did do scraping.
They're saying, Bill, that if you read on the primary record at the adjacent graded flat is currently used for the cannabis cultivation. So they're saying it was graded where the grow is.
Where the grow is.
So with that statement, I'm sort of okay with the southern end.
Okay, I still think we should do shovel probes for where they're placing the water tanks. Just to make sure there's nothing there. I don't know, how do you feel about that?
I don't think they need to do all 32, depending on how far they get away from the site.
I
Yeah.
agree. I think that if we do a setback, since they're going to be just placing them on a road, there's not going to be like major ground disturbance. I'm not sure the entire length of the road needs to be probed.
So how are they going to fill these tanks? I don't know anything about this stuff. Though. It's usually trucked in, right? The water. So where are they going to drive?
Somewhere it says that they're actually just taking it from the parcel north of them. I'm guessing creek water, river water.
So are they digging trenches for water lines?
No.
How do you say no? How do you know?
I mean, it just says they're pumping it in, so I would assume it's just on surface pumps and piping.
Well, okay, do we know what kind of depth they did on the probes when they determined the extent of the site?
It goes to surface scrapes, Bill. Because they got up into the tree line. The site actually goes up into the tree line, I think, in the way I understand it. So it's mostly a shovel scrape rather than an actual digging.
Okay, we could say that we want a determination of the southern boundary of the site by some 50 by 50 units to determine that there's nothing beyond their site boundary, because they only looked at the surface. They didn't do any subsurface probing.
Sorry, so is that a motion, or are you just recommending that for discussion?
Yeah, just talking to you guys about it.
So you're saying to do a just further surveillance of the southern portion of the north site, the WRA #1,
Yeah,
close to the cultivation.
right. Want them to establish whether or not the site has any depth on its southern boundary.
Then what are we going to do about the tanks? The tanks are to the west.
I'm sorry, what?
And then how do you want to address the tanks? Because those are to the west. Because you said south.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, digging in, doing shovel test probes in a road is no fun. Because I've done them.
Yeah.
Not that I'm siding with anybody, but.
I don't mind doing the southern boundary probing, but I personally feel
Do you want to just
the setback for the tanks and then probing for the southern boundary.
Okay, probing to establish the extent of the southern boundary to a depth of 20 centimeters. Allison, what do you think?
No, I think that appropriate. You're going to take it all the way to the cultivation site?
Uh,
No,
Yeah,
I like
to-
that. I like that, Bill.
Okay.
I think, and then I think we should incorporate Vandy's idea for the tanks just to set it back 50 meters or
how far-
25 meters on the road. I mean, it is on the
Okay.
road. It's already been disturbed. So,
Yeah. I'm just wondering if there's any depth there, but
right. Well, it's capped by the road. If there's anything going to
yeah.
the west, I
Right.
I
Okay.
feel comfortable with that, but I do feel more concerned really about the activity that's going to go around the southern end of the site because the cultivation
Right.
is so close.
Right. Okay.
I mean, just those trucks parked they took a picture of it. Trucks are parked near the possible on the site there when they took the photos and the records. I mean,
Right.
you don't really know where the photo is, but it's cool that they just sort of, do their own thing.
Okay. So we want a 20-meter buffer. From the west edge of the site before they place tanks.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with that.
Okay. Andy?
Kind of write this all out. Let's say.
Okay, so from the west edge of the site on the road, a 20-meter buffer before they place water tank.
Okay. So I have a motion
Then
to.
wait. And then for the southern boundary of the site, that boundary that goes beyond, that boundary that goes south of the road,
Yeah.
we're requesting a series of what does STU stand for? I forgot. Surface. Remember, Allison?
Shovel test units, right?
Okay. Shovel test units to a minimum of 20 centimeters. To determine if that boundary is correct. So shovel probes on the southern boundary of the site, south of the road, to a minimum of 20 centimeters or more, depending on their findings, to determine the extent of the subsurface extent of the site.
Okay. I think I have it. Let's try this.
Okay, and then, wait, and then based on that information, we still need a 20-meter boundary from whatever new extension to the south the site has.
Let me read what I have so that we can go from there.
Okay.
So I have a motion that the commissioner require further survey and determination of the southern boundary of site WRA-01 including shovel probes at a minimum depth of 25 centimeters to determine subterranean extent of the site, and no water tanks or other activities shall occur within 20 meters of site WRA-01.
Sounds good.
Do I have a second on, or sorry, Allison, it looked like you're about to say something.
It's usually you do it in increments of 10, so it wouldn't be 25. It would either be 20, 10, 20, 30. You said 25.
For the depth?
Yeah,
So shall we do 30?
sure.
Okay, so let me just reread it. So there's a motion that the commission would like further survey and determination of the southern boundary of site WRA-01, including shovel probes at a minimum depth of 30 centimeters to determine subterranean extent of the site, and no water tanks or other activities shall occur within 20 meters of WRA-01.
Okay.
Do I have a second?
Second. I will second.
Okay. So we have a motion to do the thing I just said. And we have a by Commissioner Cole and a second by Commissioner Scott. So we will do a roll call vote. Hold on, let me grab my paper. Okay. Commissioner Scott,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole.
Yes.
And as PBS representative, I provide a third affirmative. Okay, action carries 3-0. So we don't have Benjamin, but if I understand correctly, the site with the divine things that Bill did, there were no sites found for the survey. If I understand that correctly.
Well, there was a site found, but the road was rerouted, and I did an addendum to the original survey
Okay.
where we basically resurveyed an area we'd already surveyed, which included the reroute.
Okay.
Okay.
So
then-
nothing was found in the reroute.
Yeah, nothing was found in the reroute, and the reroute's been surveyed twice, actually.
Okay. Well, so because we don't have quorum, since Bill has to recuse himself on this one, there is a clause that I'm going to read and adopt, if that's okay with Commissioner Scott. So let me just read. This is Mendocino County Code, Chapter 20, Section 12.060, which states, should the commission fail to have a quorum present at their regular meeting, the authority of acceptance of surveys shifts to the director of the Planning and Building Services Department or the director's designee. This would be me. This exception applies only to surveys in which no archaeological resources are identified and which have been prepared by professional archaeologists as defined by this chapter. So with that clause, I would use that clause to accept the survey if, Commissioner Scott, you feel that that's appropriate.
But Bill's saying that there was a site found, but just not in. With that, I mean, I'm sort of okay with it because there was nothing found within the new.
That's my understanding, correct.
And so can that still apply even though there was a site found as a whole to the whole report?
What was the question?
Because you did find a site, right, Bill? I mean, there's a site located, but
Yeah.
just not.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, they rerouted, the road was going through the site. So they rerouted the road below the site.
Right.
So
And nothing was found
very-
there. Right.
I think since there's an addendum to the original survey noting that there was no resources found in the second analysis, I think it should be fine.
I'm okay with it. Unless there's a problem on your end with the
No,
county.
Not that I'm seeing. I mean, if we were just going off the original survey, then yes, I wouldn't be able to use this. But I think since the addendum kind of not contradicts, but kind of nullifies almost the previous one in a sense, that this shouldn't be an issue.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Well, then with that, I approve. I, Randy Vandewater, as designee of the director, approve the survey for case U 2019-0019 under County Code Section 22.12.060. And with that, that survey is accepted. And with that, that's all of our items. Is there any matters from the commission? I am back, if you haven't noticed.
It's nice to see you.
Oh, it's good to see you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about last month. I swear I had received a email saying it was canceled, but apparently that was for who knows what. So that was my brain fart. I don't know.
No
I
worries.
didn't mean to miss it.
I've been gone for 3 months, so no worries there. Well, since it doesn't seem the commission has any items, and there's no one in attendance from the public, Bill, did you have something?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Be
Well,
safe, Bill.
Yeah, you too.
I hereby close this September 9th, 2020 Archaeological Commission meeting at 3:05. And with that, I will see you all later and hopefully in person next time. And if
Right? With,
Yeah, huh?
with some blue sky, it'd be fabulous.
oh, yeah, I prefer
Yeah.
not orange.
All right.
All right.
You guys
Have
stay
a
safe.
good day, everyone. Stay safe.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.